This morning, we are honored to be joined by best-selling author Wade Rouse live in studio with us. You may be familiar with some of his work under the pen name Viola Shipman. Many of his books set here in West Michigan, like The Page Turner and The Edge of Summer. Wade, so great to see you this morning.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Really appreciate you waking up so early to be with us. You've got a new book out this week. Tell us about that.
I do. It's actually out tomorrow, so we get a little pre-launch look at it today. Brought you copies, and Tanner a copy as well.
So sweet.
But it's set in Palm Springs. It's inspired by the Golden Girls and my love of the sitcom and how I was raised watching it with my mom and my grandmother. And it's about 4 gay men over the age of 60 who live communally like the Golden Girls in Zsa Zsa Gabor's former mid-century mansion. And it's really about friends that come together from all across the U.S. to live together, much like the Golden Girls, overlooked in life, dismissed, and yet they found their true meaning just from being around each other. So it's a beautiful story of found family.
Yeah, so fun and such a great spin on such a popular show. I think so many people can relate to having watched that. Now, what I love about this, we mentioned before, you usually use the pen name Viola Shipman, your grandmother's name. Not this time. Why? This is your first time, right?
It is, yeah, 21 books, but the first novel under my own name. And the reason was this is a book I've wanted to write for a very long time. It's when I put together pitches for my publishing team, this contract I just signed was for 3 books for Viola Shipman. And yet I kept returning to this proposal, and I actually tacked it on to the very end and sent it to my editor and my team, and it was the very first one that they responded to and loved.
Wow.
And said that I had to write it. And you know, as I mentioned, my editor said to me, "You've written so many beautiful stories. I feel in honor of your mother and grandmother, I think this is a story that's honoring yourself." So they jumped at it. So actually my next couple of novels are going to be under Wade Rouse, but I'm going to be going back and forth.
I think that's such a great, turn for your career. And you mentioned also that this story is a little more personal to you. Talk more about that.
It's very personal. You know, I grew up in the Missouri Ozarks, as you know, and we've talked about, and the Golden Girls came out in 1985 when I was a 19-year-old fraternity guy.
Okay.
Who was the life of the party. I mean, I could chug a beer. I loved MTV, but I didn't know who I was. I was gay. I was scared. I had lost my brother a couple of years earlier, and I didn't want to upset my family anymore. So I kind of hid all of that. And watching the Golden Girls, I would snake the cord of the rotary phone into my fraternity room, and I would watch it long distance before parties with my mother and grandmother as a way for us to laugh and connect. And without knowing at all that show would broach such huge topics at the time. People forget that 40 years ago, the Golden Girls broached huge topics about
things people weren't talking about at that time.
Aging and women over the age, shocking, of 60, it's just things that were not covered. And one of them was, I remember one of the main episodes that I talk about in the book was one of Dorothy's friends is gay. And it was one of the first shows that didn't treat it as a joke or her as a joke, but simply as a beautiful story. And it actually paved a way for me to talk to my mother and grandmother and kind of forge an understanding. So the show really, this book brings to life the show in many ways. It's hilariously funny, but it also covers a lot of different topics that these men are going through.
Yeah, such a fantastic story, especially as you incorporate your own personal experience with it. Tell us more about you. I love that your books often are set here in West Michigan, but you mentioned you're not from West Michigan, so how did you develop your love for the area?
You know, came on vacation, went to Cape Cod. An innkeeper was from Michigan, and she said, "Why'd you come so far for beaches? Why don't you go to Michigan?" I was like, lived in St. Louis at the time. I was like, Michigan has beaches? So actually ended up coming on vacation to Saugatuck and fell in love and kept returning and returning. And truly moved to as you've seen, an early 1900s knotty pine cabin, much like my grandparents had, where I spent summers growing up. And it served as, I think, the place I should be. I've written every single book here. I love bringing the people of the state to life. I love bringing the resort towns across the state to life. And one of the main characters is from Michigan and brings a lot of that rich beauty to the story as well.
I love that. We have some footage of some time I spent with you in the Saugatuck, Douglas area.
It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a beautiful space. And you talk about, you know, how it reminds you of your grandmother's place. And I know you showed me your flower gardens.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that's such a great space for you to do a lot of your writing.
It is. You know, it does. It's very similar to the cabin I grew up going to. And I'm a writer that I think has to be in love with where I am. I have to be, it's got to be quiet. It has to be serene. I think a little different than a lot of writers, but it brings me great joy to be in that place because I'm surrounded by memories. And memories are what inspire my writing. It's a wellspring. I can't write a book unless it deeply calls to me. And just like this book, if a story sings to my soul, then I have the honor to bring it to life.
Well, I am so honored that we're seeing a copy ahead of it being released. It comes out tomorrow, and you have a busy next couple of weeks to promote this book. Tell us what you have going on, including some events in West Michigan that we'll have listed for you here. What do you have going on over these next couple of weeks?
Yeah, doing 11 states in 2 weeks.
Woo.
So we're kicking it off in Michigan. So we're doing tonight at St. Joe. We're at Forever Books at 7 p.m. Come down if you're in the area. And then tomorrow is the launch event at Schuler Books at 6:30 p.m. It's a Golden Girls caftan themed party. So
I love that.
Jam the place if you want. Go to Schuler Books, and you know I'm going to be signing and conversation, so it's going to be a great event. Then on the other side of state, if people are around in the Detroit area, I'm going to be at Fenton's Open Book at the Community and Cultural Center in Fenton. And the place can hold a zillion people, and we're selling out. So
I have a feeling my mom and her friends will be at the Detroit event. They're the ones that turn me on to Wade. They are huge fans of yours.
And she is the sweetest. She is.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough for being here this morning, Wade, bringing us a copy of this. And congratulations to you, Wade.
Thank you, and I hope everybody loves it.
I know they will. Thank you again. We're back right after this.